Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. So today we wanted to talk about Batman in the Gun universe, the Batman suit that will be featured in the upcoming live action Batman film, The Brave and the Bold, right? That's going to be a solo outing of Batman in the Gunnverse, right? Now, because Batman is such a big deal, I guess Batman won't. We've heard nothing about him appearing in the Superman legacy film. So I don't know if he'll appear later. It would have been interesting to. I guess Batman's just too big of a character. I think he would overshadow having Superman in the first Superman film, right? And so it has begged many to ponder the question: will the Batman suit in the Gunnverse be that signature blue and gray? Because what we got in Creature Commandos was the version of Batman that James Gunn chose to put in the series. As you can see, he's a kind of heavier, muscular Batman. Kind of reminds you of the Batman from the early 90s, Batman, the animated series television show. He looks like that one. His cowl looks like that one, right? That was a more bulky, muscular Batman. And he wore blue and gray, right? That signature blue and gray. So that's prompted many to think James Gunn will go with that look, right? Now, of course, in the DC universe, where you have Superman and Batman together, what was clear was people didn't like the version of Batman in the Snyderverse who was enemies with Superman. I think that was a dumb idea. It was a stupid idea, even trying to have Batman fight Superman. I thought it was going to be dumb when the idea was first introduced. I wasn't surprised when it was implemented on screen that it was even dumber on the screen. But I think James Gunn's not going to make that mistake. I think he's going to go the way of Superman and Batman working together as we got in the, in many iterations of the Justice League, right? So that's all going to be very interesting. Many of us are leaning to the blue and gray Batman suit, right? Looks like this, right? And I think that's a pretty, I think for the James Gunn, the Gunnverse, with it being more true to the comics and having that feel, being a more hero-based film, comic booky film, I think that looks gonna work a lot better than the dark version, the Dark Knight version, the black. That most of the latest modern Batmans have displayed, right? So this is gonna be more comic booky, and I think it's gonna work more with the mood and the set of the Gunnverse, right?
Just for the sake of argument, that I believe a single word of your story. How did you survive the explosion?
By the skin of my teeth. I've stranded more than a power rings.
So, guys, when we think of the Gunnverse, right, this is kind of the point I'm trying to make, that the Gunnverse kind of, I believe, is going to feel like one of these worlds where you have a lot of superhero characters on screen at once, right? And so, anytime you get that, live action is going to feel more animated, right? It's going to feel more, comic booky. And there's a certain formula needed, I think, to pull that off, to put a lot of heroes on screen, right? And so those are, in trying to paint that image in your head, what the Gunnverse could potentially be like, I think that's, you know, what it's going to be like. So when you see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you see all these heroes together, many dozens on the screen at once. Yes, it does have that Marvel formula. Yes, it has that Avengers formula. DC hasn't been able to pull that off because it hasn't had the right structure to their films to do that. And James Gunn, how his brain works, my thought process is he's going to be the first person at DC able to pull this off, right? All right, on to more news in the Gunnverse. According to comicbook.com, confirmation came from James Gunn on specific details about the character of Hawkgirl, right? In which Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced, her wings will actually be organic, right? Okay, sorry there. So her wings will be organic wings. Now that's very important because through DC we've seen many ways to do wings from the in the Hawkgirl characters, right? The Thanagardians, right? From the planet Thanagar, right? So here's the thing. Hawkgirl being alien, a good casting choice, Isabella Merced, just a gorgeous, beautiful woman. She will play this character as more of an alien species, the Thanagar from Thanagar. You know, where the wings are organic to their back, it doesn't go away. My big gripe with how how comic books have chose to do wings on characters, to get them, you know, hurry up and get the wings off the screen to make them go away. Even with the Falcon, right, in Brave New World, right, they always got this method, right, where there's like nanotechnology, Wakandan technology, whatever you want to call it. These wings just can disappear, right? So, you know, so you're not restricting characters. They don't have to walk around with these things on their back. But it feels so inauthentic, right? It doesn't feel authentic when these wings can do that, right? To me, it's like cheating. It just doesn't work. So by her having these wings, you know, they're going to have to spend the money if they want it to look good, but to have it just be a part of her body at all times, I think it's going to be an amazing choice, a good choice. And I think it's going to work best for this film, right? We would see Hawkman, same thing, like even what we got in the Black Adam film, right? With Hawkman, how his wings would just pop out of nowhere and spread, right? And they'll say, oh, some kind of nanotechnology, this or that. And to me, I don't like that choice because it's an easy way for the film to get away from putting the work into the CGI. And it just, you know, it just doesn't work for me. Especially in a grounded movie like what we got with Falcon in the Brave New World, how he does it. And then he just got this little backpack on his back and the wings are, you know, these big wide wings that have to support a human frame, right? Never like that. So great choice, James Gunn. Put the money in. Don't try to save the money. Go ahead and put the money in there. Make it look good, right? So I think that's pretty much all we want to talk about today. Just driving home for the people who are still not confident about what James Gunn will do in the DC universe, helping you to understand that the image I'm getting, right, what's clicking in my mind is James Gunn intends to put a lot of characters on the screen. And a lot has to happen in order for that to work properly. And, you know, many of you all who are skeptical about James Gunn and just can't see where this is going, I would, you know, basically make the statement that maybe you should think of it in those terms. And if you, in introducing all these characters, if it's going to be kind of like on that Marvel framework, yeah, it's going to look fantastical. I think the more color you put in it, the more identification with the comic book world, the more well it's going to come across, the more believable it's going to come across, right? Because that's how Marvel was able to get it. If Marvel would have grounded every, character they have, like what a lot of people want to see from the Snyderverse, I don't think Marvel would have worked as well. I think at a certain point, you have to not take everything so serious in the comic book world, whereas my thought process was let's do a grounded, let's have these comic book films be grounded live action films, right? That's what people want to see. I've since changed my impression, specifically after watching what James Gunn was able to do. He brought something I had never seen before, that you could do blends of both, and they could work, and you could still have the same emotional investment in the characters. And because of that, I became a believer. And so I think the same thing will happen with a lot of you all out there who, give the Gunnverse a chance. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. That's all I want to say in this video. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like, share the videos, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, right? Helps us get out there. Hopefully, if your thought process is in agreement with mine, it'll get back to we'll get enough, views on it. It'll get back to the people at the studio, to get back to James Gunn, and maybe he can even, do some of the, implement some of the things that many of the fans who go out and spend their money to watch these films want to see. So all very good stuff. That's all I want to say. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.